Hey there, friends. Welcome to Dear Vonna, where we address your concerns and questions about self-love and relationships. And more importantly, my favorite, we discuss how to have a healthy relationship with yourself. So I am your host and personal self-love development coach, Shavonna Nicole. If you are new here, again, welcome and consider subscribing. I'd love to have you. Now, in today's episode, we have a question from Angel, and I'm so excited to share it with you today. It's one of my favorite topics, self-love versus self-care. So let's get right to it. Welcome back, everyone. So I want to get right into our question for the day. It is from our subscriber, Angel, and she asks, Dear Vonna, what is the difference between self-love and self-care? Honestly, is there a difference? Thank you, Angel, for your question. And so I'm really going to enjoy talking about this today because it is literally one of my favorite topics. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm constantly advocating for my friends, for my family to take care of themselves, to love on themselves just a little bit harder. So I'm just going to get right into some of the similarities and some of the differences. There is a difference, Angel, between self-love and self-care. Practicing self-love is a part of self-care, and self-care is a part of self-love. So they do intertwine, but there is a difference. And so I think I'm going to start off by explaining it like this. So when I think of self-love, I think about a loving relationship, right? And so self-love would be the relationship with yourself. And so what are the key elements of a healthy, loving relationship? So there are 5 elements. There is safety, right? Not just physical safety, there's emotional safety. Then there's trust, honesty, communication, and not just any communication, effective communication. And then there's respect. And so again, all healthy relationships have those elements. So when you think of self-love, you want to think about, do you have those elements with yourself? So for example, safety. Physical safety with yourself, self-love is, are you putting yourself in situations where you could be putting your life at danger, putting your life at risk, jeopardizing your health? And it's literally anything that has to do with your physical body. Are you caring for yourself? Are you showing yourself love? Or are you kind of being reckless, right? With emotional safety, there is, I don't know, but maybe everyone or a lot of you all have experienced sharing some intimate details about your life or about your past and with a certain person, and then that person decides to use that information against you in some way. And when you disclose the information or reveal that or share that with them, you felt very vulnerable. And you probably never anticipated that they would bring it up in your face and bring it up in a negative manner. And so that made you feel not safe with that person emotionally and probably not willing to share more information with them. And so when you think about that concept, it works the same for yourself. Do you bring up your past and say, you always do this, you made this mistake last time, you use poor judgment? How are you talking to yourself? And are you criticizing yourself? Are you emotionally safe with yourself? So what does that self-talk look like? Okay. And then you have trust. Can you trust yourself to do what you say you're going to do for yourself? Whether that's, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to go out for that promotion. Are you doing what you said that you're going to do for yourself, for your own well-being, for your own happiness, for your own growth and well-being? So is that trust there? Honesty, this is a really big one. So are you listening to yourself and being real honest with yourself. So if you can't be honest with yourself about your needs, your desires, your wants, it's very difficult to be honest with others. That's just a side note, but honesty is really key, and being honest with yourself. If something bothered you, I know a lot of people don't like to admit that other people agitate them, right? You have this person that really plucks your nerve, and I hear people say all the time, oh, I'm just not going to let that get to me. Oh, I'm not going to let that bother me. But you really are bothered, and you really are irritated, or you really are offended. And so it's like you're not even being honest with yourself, or you're being in a relationship with someone and, they're doing things that are disrespectful to you, and you're letting it go. You're letting it go. You're giving them a pass. You're giving them a pass. And so you're not being honest and transparent about your feelings. And so first and foremost to yourself, and probably nevertheless to that other person. But so when you think about self-love, are you even being honest with yourself? How are you communicating, right? So that's another element, effective communication. Are you talking to yourself in a healthy way, encouraging yourself, saying that you're beautiful, saying that you can achieve whatever you set out to achieve? Are you saying, you're not educated, you probably won't get the promotion, you can't really lose weight, you've been losing weight, you've been trying to lose weight for years? Kind of reflect back and think about how you talk to yourself. A lot of people struggle with negative self-talk for whatever reasons. And then respect. Are you respecting yourself? Are you treating yourself the way that you would want other people to treat you? So are you, again, kind of putting yourself on a pedestal? Are you being respectful to yourself? Are you doing things that would demonstrate that you respect yourself, your mind, your body, etc.? So again, I kind of want to sum it up. When it comes to self-love and what we mean by self-love, or at least what I mean by self-love, think of that relationship with yourself the same way you would think about a relationship with someone else. Is that relationship loving and healthy? So that is my explanation of self-love. Okay, everyone, now let's get into self-care. Self-care is kind of easy. It describes the things that you do for yourself, right? The things that you do to take care of yourself, the maintenance, are you doing what's needed for yourself to be able to function properly? So I like to give the analogy of a car, right? So if you have a car that you care about, you're probably cleaning it often. You're probably giving it car washes often, not letting it get too filthy. You probably are being careful about the places you go, how long you drive it, who you loan your car to. You're getting oil changes often. You're not keeping it low on gas. If the signal lights come on, you address them and you go see what's wrong with it. And you don't push it beyond its limits or, kind of run it into the ground. So if you take that analogy and you make yourself the car, are you doing the necessary maintenance to make sure that you're running, functioning properly? So are you keeping up with good hygiene? And a lot of people, when you say, do you love yourself? Oh, yeah, I get my nails done. I get my hair done. And so, yeah, that's some of the cosmetic things. But then there are also things like, are you making sure that you get enough sleep? Are you saying no when you need to say no? Or are you overextending yourself and taking care of everybody else but yourself? Are you eating properly? Are you, when your body is telling you that you're tired, that you're frustrated, that you are anxious, are Are you listening to it, or are you suppressing it and just keep going anyway? Are you, again, paying attention to the signals that your body is giving you? And so when you are not practicing good self-care, that's when you can start to see your body shut down. And so your body can shut down, mentally, and people go into depression or develop anxiety and things like that. Or when you've had trauma happen to you, have you gotten the help that you needed to get? Some people deprive themselves of sleep. And that in itself can be, a little risky, and causes, just poor performance and concentration, et cetera, et cetera. And so self-care is, again, the maintenance and doing what you need to do to make sure that you are functioning the way you desire to function. And some people do struggle with that, and they might feel guilty for caring for themselves, or they're just used to taking care of other people before they take care of themselves, and they might feel weird to take care of themselves. But like I stated earlier, self-care is a part of self-love. And so the example I want to give you is this. Let's say you have a family heirloom and you want to preserve it, you cherish it, or, it's something that someone who is very near and dear to you, gave to you. You would be careful about where you leave it, how you store it, how you take care of it, because you really want it to last, right? And so that means that you value that thing, that it's important to you. And so if you kind of just left it out and didn't take care of it and was, dropping it on the floor or leaving it outside, it would be safe to assume you kind of just didn't value it, or you weren't trying to preserve it. And so it's the same way when it comes to your body and yourself. Are you demonstrating that this is something that your body and your space is something that you value? So are you doing the necessary maintenance that will keep yourself healthy, safe, and performing optimally? And so when you don't do that, that's when other things and other health concerns and stuff can come to the surface. So they're both very important as far as your well-being, your relationships with others, but they do have different elements to them. But they are both vitally important for your existence, and especially if you're going to have relationships with others. So to wrap up, everyone, I just want to reiterate that self-love is the loving relationship that you have with yourself, and self-care is the maintenance that you practice for yourself. If you have any questions on what we've discussed today, email me with the link provided in the description, and I'll be happy to get back to you. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. It was such a pleasure to share with you. If you've gained or learned anything from today's episode, please subscribe. I'd love to have you join me regularly. And also, if you'd like to have your question answered on this show, dear Vanna, email me with the information provided in the description box. So until next time, friends, this is your host and personal self-love development coach, Shavonna Nicole, reminding you to please practice self-love as it is your superpower. Talk to you soon.